Hello and welcome to Becoming Abundant podcast. I am your host, Anna Maria Jinga, and this is our side of the internet where we get to speak about true abundance, personal authority, emotional optimization, and the pure power of alignment, all while living in the presence and guidance of God Himself. I am a holistic coach and mentor focusing on healing the emotions keeping you stuck so that the mind and body can align and live a limitless life. We all have a mission and a purpose, and I am here to help you unchain from what's been holding you back to actually live in your full potential. Think of it as transformative triggering in the best possible way. The time has come to live a life you love. Let's dive in. Hello, my darlings, and welcome to another amazing week of Becoming Abundant podcast with your host, Anna Maria Jinga. And today we have such an amazing guest. I'm so excited to share everything about my amazing friend, Courtney Stanfield. I have a whole presentation about her, but before I share everything, she's this amazing creator, broadcaster, and everything in between. She actually has launched an amazing app called AirOut, which is an anonymous app where you just get to pour your heart out and not stress about anything and just have a space to just decompress your brain. So, my loves, let's give a big welcome to my dear friend, Courtney.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. So great to see you again. I love the work you're doing, and I feel like it really aligns with what AirOut's doing. So this is a perfect mesh coming together.
Oh, I agree. The moment I saw that you were on another podcast, I'm like, I need to talk to Courtney. This has to happen.
Yeah, it's been really exciting actually jumping on the podcast journey. I give you credit. I don't think it's easy to start your own show, and I've been on a number of them now, and it's always so exciting to hear why people started podcasts and the stories that they have to share, and emerging in this world has been really awesome to see, and meeting so many great people.
Oh, that's fantastic. And yes, the story behind the podcast that I got to create was literally bringing freedom to the minds and hearts of people. And I got to tie it into, hey, let's talk about personal development. Let's talk about faith. Let's talk about how we can free our minds from the busyness of life. And then I really believe that Air Out blends so perfectly with that theme. So tell me a little bit about what got you to create Air Out.
It's a good question. I actually don't even have that answer because I never anticipated being here in life. So my background is in television. I've worked in TV, local news for almost 20 years. And then I went on the motherhood journey, jumped in real quick, real fast, had 3 kids in less than 2 years. And, deep end, let's do it. And with that comes, a number of challenges. Motherhood is hard. And there are so many aspects mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually that just get tackled day in and day out. And so I was really in the thick of it last year. And I never felt like I had a truly safe place to express myself in those moments where it's not really you're just wildly overstimulated, overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you're upset, whatever it may be, and you're having thoughts that you don't even mean, but they're just a result of your environment, and you need somewhere to say them. And I never felt like I had a safe place to turn to. And that was kind of a parallel my entire life. Often I felt like if I turned to someone, I ended up feeling worse after, which a lot of people can relate to. And then you regret even opening up. And then what is that teaching to yourself? Stuff it down, stuff it down, stuff it down. And when we don't express ourselves, we are going to build guilt. We're going to build shame. We're going to feel worse and heavier, and everything is going to be shadowed as a result of that. And so I thought, I need somewhere where I can just be heard and not judged and not have anyone even say anything back to me, because most of the time we're not even looking for advice. We just want to feel heard. We need to move that energy, right? So it was last year, and I was kind of turning, I was asking God, I'm like, I need an idea. I need something bigger, because if I feel like this, I know other people feel like this, because there's nothing special about me and my journey. And if I'm in a position, other people are going to be as well. And then all of a sudden, March last year, I wake up in the middle of the night because I have this dream and it's so profound. I see the app, I feel the app, what it does for people. I can see the design, I see how it moves. And it was so vivid. I started emailing app development companies in the middle of the night. Again, totally out of my wheelhouse. I know nothing about tech. It's amazing that I'm even here on Zoom with a proper mic and headphones. Like, this is not my world. And it just snowballed. And there were many times I wanted to quit along the journey, but I just kept coming back to this intuitive hit every time I had tremendous doubt, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of resources, money, energy, which I just don't have with three little kids, 5 and under. So I was dedicating a lot to this. And I just kept being like, why am I doing this? Like, this is such a busy season of life. But whenever I had those moments, I would get that clarity, that tremendous peace would wash over me, and that intuition of like, yes, no, you need to follow this through. People need this. You are a shepherd. So I almost feel more of like a shepherd to this project than the creator. Like, God said, will you bring this to life? And I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll do this. I'll run with it. And so it's here, it's up, it's live, it's on the Apple Store, it's on Google Play. It's only been up for a few months now. So we are the new kid in town, but it is tremendously exciting and it's working. It's working. People are writing, they're feeling better, they're getting that relief, and they're not second guessing if they're going to have judgment on the other side. And that is a beautiful thing to see.
Yes. Oh, I felt everything you said because as a mom myself, how many times do we put ourselves in that space of, if I speak up, will I be judged for wanting peace, for wanting a 5-minute break from thinking like our kids are crazy when they're just overstimulated like we are, from having like crazy clients or crazy experiences, or just wanting to celebrate something without needing to feel judged for, oh, you're showing off. And you got to create that. I've used your app many times. I'm
Oh,
subscribed to it. I'm there. I'm sharing it with people. I love it. I'm like, this is amazing. It's, as a user myself, it's that gives you that experience of, I'm free to just feel in the moment and let the emotions fly out so that I don't get stuck in them. I'm not there to analyze the emotions. I'm not there to be seen. I'm just like, just me and God on paper. Just, here you go. Here are my
yes.
feelings, and that's it. And it's so powerful. And I know that you made, it's so beautiful how you organize everything. You made chapters. Tell me about the chapters. What inspired you to make them so separate and so beautiful?
So a little bit how the app functions. It's completely anonymous. So when you sign up, I don't even want to know your name. I don't want to know your birthday, absolutely nothing. So it's just whatever random email you want to sign up, download it for free. I'll say 30 days free, and then it's 99 cents after that. That's just going to maintenance, upgrades, whatever's needed for the app. But free to try. And within that month, you should feel how good this feels. But it's completely anonymous. We don't know anything about you, no usernames, and no user interaction. So that's what makes this different, because I've been challenged quite a lot from people in interviews about how this is any different than traditional social media. Well, it's very different in the sense that there is no feedback. So there are so many outlets you can go to talk about a problem if that's what you're looking for. Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, whatever it may be. But you have to be prepared for those comments in return. And often they turn nasty, they turn hateful, they turn hurtful, and you feel incredibly judged and you feel worse on the other side.
Yeah.
So what's different here is that there's no interaction. There's no way to like a comment or respond to a comment. So now there is a platform that is just for output, just to move the energy, just so you can have the release, and you're safe to do so because, again, it's anonymous and no one can comment back and no one can like it. So you can push that out, release it, and feel safe knowing that no one's going to come at you for it. So it's really different in that sense. It helps take the mask down. We all suffer with so many vulnerability complexes. We can get into that, but this really addresses that, because we are our most authentic when people don't know who we are, what we look like, how much money we have, how we're showing up in the world. None of that matters, because this is just humanity, humans being humans in raw moments that we all experience. So there are 6 different chat spaces, we'll say spaces, mums, dads, and the app really started for parents because that was the journey I was in. And I
Yeah.
thought parents need an outlet just to say all the stuff you could never say out loud, like
So
even in a
true.
tremendously difficult moment, you say, I wish I never became a mom. You try and say that to someone and they're going to,
How
oh,
dare you?
how
How dare
dare
you have
you?
feelings?
Yeah, you should be so grateful. And, yes, of course I am. And I love my children. But it actually has nothing to do with my children when I say that. It has to
Exactly.
do with the responsibilities, the mental load, the self-doubt, my own issues that I'm trying to work through, my own insecurities. That's where that's coming from because I'm in a fight or flight place. It has nothing to do with my kids, but
Yeah.
I still need to say that. So
Yeah.
though that's the thought that comes to me and I still need to be able to express it. So we started with parents because that's tremendous. There's just so many emotions coming up at all times. And then we're like, there's not a single person alive that couldn't benefit from this. So now it's universal. There's a work room, there's a love, which is marriage, dating, any relationships, anything you just love in life, anything that hurts, grief, all of that. And then there's a brag because we want to hear the good stuff. Own it. Yes. You hit your fitness goal. Maybe you're celebrating sobriety.
Yeah.
Maybe you're celebrating that you didn't lose your cool in a situation where you typically would. We need to honor the good stuff too.
Yeah.
And then there is our most busy and our most favorited chat space, the vent for all of the everyday
That's my favorite
occurrences.
one. I go and read it. I'm
Yes.
like, I resonate. I resonate. I resonate.
Yes. And I'm so glad you said that because while it is one sided in the sense that you get to have your say and no one can say anything back to you, you get to read the other posts. So
Yeah.
you have this sense of feeling like you're in a community, feeling like you're understood, feeling like you're not alone without actual interaction. And there's so much beauty in that because you can experience it just for you when you need it at the time you need it without having to actually engage. And I think that's such a beautiful place to be able to turn to just to know, okay, I'm not in this alone. And these are actually all very unoriginal thoughts. And I don't say that to offend anybody. I say that to comfort you that
Yep.
there are only so many emotions we can experience as humans. And we all tend to experience very similar ones when we're in similar situations. So it's
Exactly.
incredible to see that we are actually so alike in these struggles.
It's so beautiful because then you also feel less judged to just vent out. And then when you read the things that you resonate so much with them, you're like, I'm not alone. And you feel like not the odd duck out. You don't feel judged. You don't feel pointed out.
Mhm.
You're just there to experience it. It's like, probably you said this, it's antisocial, which is perfect. We can just be
Yes.
antisocial for a moment on our phones without feeling like, oh, I need to like this. I should watch my words when I comment something.
Mhm.
Do I need to always be polished and clean? You don't have to be polished and clean there. It's
No,
free.
and that's actually harmful when we start to censor what our thoughts are. So we are saying we are not safe to express ourselves until it fits in this socially acceptable box. I
Exactly.
can only express 10% of what I feel, and I'll adjust the language and I'll put the feelers out there and I'll see how people respond, but that's not going to work. So
Yeah.
when we're using this app, I truly believe 70% of the things in there aren't even true. They're just a reflection of someone having a hard time, and that's okay. So we have to stop censoring it because self expression is not perfect, and you
Yeah.
don't have to validate if you were right or wrong in the feelings you're having in the moment, because that's only going to make you feel worse. If
Yeah.
you are feeling very upset with your partner, for example, and you start having thoughts like, I married the wrong person, they've never understood me, I'm wasting my life with this person. If you can't express that as is, you're never going to actually move the energy. And so you're going to sit with it. So you can just be super frustrated and write on the app and say, I married the wrong person and I don't think I want to do this anymore. If
Yeah.
you say that to someone in real life, first of all,
Spiral.
they're never going to forget. And so you and your partner will likely, maybe not, in some cases, but likely move forward from
Yeah.
whatever disagreement was happening at that time. But the outside person's never going to forget. And so you've opened this up and now you have this judgment that will forever exist. And that's not saying don't talk to people you trust. It's just, be aware. Are you looking for feedback? Are you looking for responses, or do you just need to move the energy? Because if you just need to move the energy, then don't bring other people in. It's
No.
just you, and you can just have a place to say it and a place to move it. And half the time when you write it out, it's like journaling. We know how powerful
Yeah.
journaling is, right?
Yep.
It's been studied for decades. The power of just writing that and hitting send often is enough for you to go, huh, actually, you know what? I don't think that's true, and feel better because you've just transformed the energy from one form to another. So you're not carrying it, you've handed it off, you've moved it, and that's instant relief for you. So it doesn't keep dogpiling. So it's really incredible just to be able to say it uncensored. And that is where the power is. But people are so caught up in how they look and how people will respond that this is really one of the first places where that becomes a non-factor.
Yeah. And it gives that freedom to just be who you are without needing, just like we said, without needing to polish it, without needing to show a certain way. And you can just after that go and reread yourself and reread other people's thoughts and be like, okay, it's not as bad. It's not how I saw it. I just needed it out of me because it was bubbling up. And as we know, whatever bubbles up emotionally will bubble up physically as well. We can have all sorts
Yes.
of imbalances, hormonal imbalances, mental imbalances, digestive issues, all sorts of problems because of the emotions that we don't express. Because very rarely do we have spaces that are non judgmental, where we can just show up and be like, I want to talk and cry and be okay, and people to love me and just let me be who I am. We don't have that. But you
No.
created that. You created that because
Yes.
not only did you create an app, you created a movement now. So, where do you want to see this movement move forward?
I feel like I'm a spectator in this journey now, and I'm just excited to see where it goes. I have no doubt it's going to end up in the right hands of the right people at the right time, as these kind of intuitive projects tend to. I don't know the
Yeah.
timeline. I don't know anything. I am just excited, but I hope that it helps people to start to pay attention to their thoughts, because that's a huge part of it. And I
Yeah.
love to use this analogy. If you think of a quote unquote bad thought. And we'll just say a bad thought is
Yeah.
anything that doesn't feel good, anything that might feel heavy or critical or judgmental or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
If you think about someone handing you an item to hold, maybe like a rock, you can hold one rock. Okay, it's not great, but you can hold it around.
Yeah.
Consider that a thought. Okay, so every thought is a rock. Someone hands you another rock. Okay, and another one, and another one, and another one. How many rocks are you going to hold until you throw them on the ground and snap because you can't hold any more rocks? And that's what's happening to us, right? A lot, we see this often in men, especially, and we're really moving to like modern masculinity and self-expression. It's so powerful to have this dad space, because you have to be able to deal with it rock by rock. We can't let this buildup happen anymore. So if you consider these thoughts almost like a conveyor belt, and we're checking in with ourselves all day, something comes up, we can take that rock. I don't want to hold it. It's heavy. It's awkward. I don't like this. I can move it to the app so I
Yeah.
don't have to hold it anymore. Next one's going to come along, because they're going to keep coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's just life. It's your circumstances.
They
They're
don't
coming.
stop.
So you start to pay attention to them. You start to be aware of how you're feeling and be able to identify it instead of turning away from it. So we're so fearful of these things that don't feel good also, right? But the power is in facing it. When you turn to that thought and you say, okay, I see you, I hear you, I feel like no one's ever going to love me and I'm a loser and I'm a fraud. I see you. I'm going to take that though, because I don't like it. It doesn't feel good to wear, and I'm going to move it over here.
Mm.
And so if we keep this going, then think of how much better you're going to feel at the end of your day. And if we all feel an ounce better collectively as a whole, this truly has the ability to transform. People will show up differently in every place. At the grocery store, if they're not carrying around so much, they're going to show up differently at work. They're going to have different interactions with their colleagues. They're going to come home at the end of the day and show up for their families differently than they would have
So
if they
much.
weren't processing. So there's so much power in just being aware and meeting yourself where you are. And it's okay. Don't be scared of what you might hear or see. It's okay. Remember, your thoughts are just your brain finding words to describe how you are feeling emotionally, physically. You're in a fight or flight. It's not you. You don't have to hang on to them. You
Yes.
just have to sort them and
Yeah.
continue to move through them. And that is the power. And so I hope with the dads as well, my husband's been really instrumental in helping me develop this app, and that he always expresses that he doesn't feel like he has a voice in the room next to a mother,
Yeah.
and that his needs come last, and that he is there to work. I mean, of course, we'll just use a traditional example. If you have a stay-at-home mom and then a husband working,
Yeah.
but many families are different. Whoever's staying home, maybe both partners are working. You have this financial obligation, this responsibility, and then you have this emotional responsibility to support your partner. And then men now are being asked to father in a way that they were never shown. So
Mhm.
previous generations, they were not shown how to show up for their kids and be emotionally available, to be vulnerable, to be accepting. And so they are coming into this newfound father, which is a huge transition, not having tools, not being shown. And so they're struggling, a lot of men, with these different aspects and feeling like they can't express themselves because their voice doesn't matter next to the wife or a partner or mother, whatever it may be in your dynamic. So it's so important for men, especially, just to start paying attention. And we've seen tremendous opening up in the app, people talking about their desires to have a family, but they're worried they're getting too old, or that their partner won't ever be there, or that whatever they do is enough, or that they feel handcuffed to their job because it pays the bills, and they're not free to actually explore their joy in life because they have this crippling sense of obligation. And so what are you supposed to do with all those feelings?
Right.
You just
Exactly.
and
Where do
so
you put
you
them?
Exactly. So you come home and you're beat down and you're tired and you don't have any energy left because you're weighed down because you pick up these little things throughout the day. Maybe it starts in traffic. Maybe at the office someone says something. Maybe you didn't get the promotion. Maybe, this, that. It all adds up. And so when you come home and you're feeling like the weight of the world is truly on your shoulders and no one cares what you have to say, that's a terrible feeling to have. So I really want this dad's room there to serve a purpose as we shift. And we really are in a cultural shift, a societal shift with men and their expression. And it's just so, so important. And someone opened up in there that they, at the end of a long workday, they don't have the energy to be around their kids, and they hate themselves for that.
Yeah,
Where
exactly. And you
where
get
could
to
you say
create
that?
this. Yeah, exactly. You get to create this space for fathers. I was even talking to a guest in a previous episode about how little support men in families actually have, because they're going out there, they're doing everything, they have so many things that they juggle, and then they come home and then they think they're just a provider, when in fact their kids and their spouse just want their love, they want their
Yes.
presence, and they feel so thinned out
Hmm.
because of life's experiences, because of a job, because of everything that's weighing on them. Now they get to have a space where they can just be like, I'm exhausted, where do I even start? And to feel like they can just express themselves without being like, you're seen as weak, you're seen as not enough, why are you complaining, why? There's no why. It's just, let's manage this.
Yes.
And then because they offload so much in there, they can go have a conversation with their spouse like, hey, now that I'm in a peaceful state, what can we do moving forward? What can I bring differently? They communicate better as men. And I've seen it so much in my clients as well. The more they communicate their feelings, their
Mhm.
journaling, anything that is holding them back, the better they show up. The more aware they are of who they are, of their
Yeah.
resources, of how important they are in their role. And they feel valued more because they get to love themselves more, which self-love for men is something like so off topic. No one talks about it. No one talks
Exactly.
about the mental health that is declining in leaders as men. It's
Well,
crazy.
I'm sure you've heard this expression too, that the opposite of depression is expression. You
Yes.
have to move things out. And so when we're not expressing ourselves and we're not talking about some of the bigger feelings and the challenges, of course, it's just going to weigh you down and heavy and become heavier and heavier
Yeah.
until it's hard to show up for anybody. It's hard to show up for yourself. But my husband has also said, that and I'm sure many men would agree, that you don't want to be the first one to open up for
Yeah.
fear that you'll be isolated and you'll feel
Exactly.
even lonelier. So we're in this place where we're talking about emotional acceptance and emotional vulnerability, but we're still not quite there where a lot of men are openly doing it. So when you have a format like this, where it's completely anonymous and no one has any idea who you are or
Yep.
where you are, how much money you make, that makes it safe. So this is like tiptoeing into the world of vulnerability. If
Yep.
you're not used to opening up and you're not used to meeting yourself where you are, it could be very scary where to start. This is the place to do it because no one will ever know. Don't tell anybody. Sign up with a random email. No one has to know, but just start doing it and pay attention to your body because it's an instant reaction when you say something that's just bubbling up and you're trying to fight it. When you say it, it's like a breath of fresh air. Your
Yep.
shoulders drop and you instantly feel better. And that's how I know this works because I feel it. And again, if I feel it, other people will feel it. And
Yep.
that's just, it's so important. So just pay attention, start small, and listen to your body. And
Yeah.
it'll just keep snowballing. And then before you know it, you'll be able to identify these thoughts before they become an armful of rocks that you want to throw on the ground and snap off on, right?
Yep. And break your back on. We don't do that. We don't
Yes,
want to do that. Stop
hurting
carrying all of
yourself
that
more.
emotion. Exactly. So
Yes.
I have a fun question. For someone that's just starting off on the app, what would you tell them? Where to start? How do they show up? How do they open up? What's an advice for that one person that's like, I think I need this?
Okay, I love this question because people tell me, I get this feedback all the time. I love reading the chat rooms. I love scrolling through. And it is like it's a whole gamut. Like there is the light, the funny, the confessions, the crushes, the dating stories, and there's also the really heavy, can't say this to anybody,
Yeah.
don't want to say this to anybody. So it really is like humanity encapsulated because we are a broad range of these feelings. We can laugh 1 minute, cry the next. That's kind of
Yep.
the sensation of the app. And so people will say like how much they love reading it. And I'll say, well, have you tried it? Oh, no, I don't. I usually just keep those things inside. Well, this is the
Great.
point. Yes, great. Okay, let's try something new and see if you feel better. So start small, something with your day, maybe something that somebody did to annoy you. That's always a great place to start.
Yep.
You put that down, you think, oh, okay, that felt pretty good. And before you know it, there's going to be something else and then something else. And then you're going to be jumping around to every chat space and you're going to be just offloading from everything that you've had pent up. And then before you know it, you're going to have a clear mind, a peaceful heart. Your
Yeah.
body's going to be relaxed. You're going to feel calm. You're almost going to feel rested because you've sorted this stuff out. And so maybe you don't think you have, like this big confession or this big secret you've been carrying around. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Doesn't matter. You will have something in your day that you can start because even a little annoyance by somebody else is something that you're going to wear, you're going to carry. Let's say someone cuts you off in traffic. That's going to be annoying, but it's also likely going to translate to you as nobody sees me.
Yep.
Nobody cares that I'm here. No one values me. And it's going to spread and spread and spread. So you let this car come in and then totally weigh you down for the day. So start with something small and it will build. Maybe think about your relationship and then it'll just continue to grow. And now, sometimes I'm like, I'm looking for things to contribute to the app, right? Because I want to be an active user on this too. And some days I'm just like, wow, There's nothing because I've been doing it all day. I've
Yeah.
been meeting every thought as it comes. So I don't have this tremendous buildup. And that is the goal, is for
Yeah.
everyone just to feel a little lighter, a little better, because you don't have to carry it. It's not yours to carry. You
Nope.
don't have to anymore. It's not you. It's just thoughts are just so not personal, but we make them so personal. So it's quite funny when we start to look at them, as like their own separate entity, not us, then they become a lot more accessible.
Yeah. And you said something so funny. The energy of the emotions weighs us down because certain emotions are heavier than others. And whenever we hold on to emotions for too long, they just attach to old stories. They make patterns in our brain. They're like, oh, remember when someone else cut you off? Oh, remember when someone else told you to shut up? Oh, oh, oh. And we
Mm-hmm.
have so many of these just spanning out, and they create this web and they catch more and more and more because they're there and we don't express them. But when we have a space and a community that just wants you to offload and share their own experiences without feeling directly connected to you, it brings so much freedom to actually let yourself, allow yourself to feel. And it's so powerful that you got to create this because I think social media wanted to be that, and then it got hijacked into this
Yes.
massive, let's create a wave of consumers instead of just presenters, instead of just informers and speakers and everyone living their life and not being so under a magnifying glass. There's no magnifying glass there. So
No.
when you think of this whole self-expression, would you add anything else to the app?
Right now, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
Don't change it.
it's so simplistic, and I love that about it. It's very old school launch of the internet sort of chat style, which I think is so great. It's non-threatening, it's minimalist, it's quick, it's easy. I also want to say it's safe. We have language filters in place, so common street
Yes, I
swears,
remember that one.
anything racist,
Yeah,
homophobic, they'll be banned, and it'll be
yeah,
recommended you try to use language that's more accepting and make people feel safe. So we do want it to be a safe place for everybody, non-threatening. There's also some safety guards in place for self-harm to seek proper resources if you
nice.
are in that situation. But it's short, it's easy. There's 100-character limit. So you know how some people love to go on Reddit and spend an hour and a half crafting a 26-paragraph long venting story. We can sum that down. It comes down to one sentence, and it's usually, you know, I'm not good enough. I feel like a loser. I feel like a fraud. No one's ever going to love me. No one sees me. No one cares about me. Like whatever it may be, but we can simplify. And so that's what's so great about it. It's like a diary in the sense that, you're able to communicate what's been going on, but you don't have to wait till the end of the day, because by the time you get home at the end of the day, there's a lot to unpack. So to try and sit down and process it all, you're going to forget half of it, really. So this is quick. It's in your pocket. It's 24/7, and it's easy. So you can use this in line at the store if you hear or see something in front of you that you don't like. You can use it at exactly while you're talking to your boss. You can be like nodding along, and
Mm-hmm.
just roasting them, saying all the things that you can't
Take it all
say.
out.
Yes, maybe your partner's making you nuts. You can sit there, say it in the app while you nod along. And that's the thing, too, is that when we have a proper place to put it, it's less messy, because a lot of the time we get explosive and we redirect where we shouldn't necessarily. It's not necessarily connected to how we're feeling, but it's just that we hit that breaking point. So when we have a proper place to kind of sort through our things,
Yeah,
let's, minimalist style, like cleaning up a room, cleaning up our thoughts,
yeah,
then we don't have it misdirected and you don't end up saying things to your partner that you regret or that you can't take back. And it's not necessarily, you want to save that for the healthy, calm, controlled conversations where
yeah.
you're showing up as your best self and you can work on a problem together, not in the heat of the moment when things are just too volatile. But that's a fire in you. So just like put it in the right places. But to answer your question, I don't see any changes right now. No, I don't.
Perfect.
There'll never be likes, there'll never be comments, there'll never be anything like that. I just really want people to consider this a tool that exists to cut through the mental and emotional clutter so that you can get closer to your authentic self. So we
Right.
have to clean up the noise so then we can get closer to our own intuition. And our own intuition is the greatest gift we were born with. It tells us everything we need to know at any given second. But for so many people, it is so buried under voices and circumstances and feelings and self-doubt and vulnerabilities. So it's a tool to cut through a lot of that so you can actually be who you are without the stories you're carrying.
Yes. Oof, so powerful because you called it as I saw it too. It's not an app, it's not social media, it's nothing like that. It's just a tool. It's a simple digital tool, comes to you everywhere. I've used it many times when I was like, I want to swear at people. And that's when I learned that I cannot use bad words there. And I'm like, oh, thank you for that. And actually, funny enough, it was a reminder for me, use better words. And it was such
Yes.
a massive shift in the moment when I'm like, why would I use that has such a negative energy when I can
Mhm.
switch it to something else that can bring more peace? And the fact that it's such a short 150 characters space to just offload, it also is like a mind management, emotional management space because you don't need to go
Yes.
off on a rant and be like 45 pages long or send a
No.
recording of screaming and shouting. It's just like, what do I actually feel right now? And you just put it
Mhm.
there. And it's like, just like you said, you feel that weightlessness in your body and in your mind, and it's quiet again. So I really believe this is a powerful tool for the personal development space and industry because no one's done this before. You always go to a coach that, yes, maybe not, will judge you, or maybe they know how to help you, or maybe not. This is simple. Just like you said, it's simple. It's very user friendly. You don't need, like, there's no rocket science. There's no steep learning curve. There's nothing around there. It's just go there, write something, and feel better. That's the whole recipe. So I actually have behind my screen here something that says the power of the collective voice. And it's always a reminder. And as soon as I started using your app, I made the connection that that's the collective voice. All of
Mm.
our thoughts there, all of our energies, all of our moments that we get to share there without feeling suffocating when we share there. It's so
Yes.
freeing and it's so beautiful. So when you think of one last thing that you want to share with people that are maybe on the fence or don't know how to manage their thoughts or emotions, what would you want to share?
Oh, that's a good one. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of yourself. The only thing scarier than facing these thoughts is trying to run from them because it's like living in, a small house and keeping the blinds closed and people knocking outside. Like they're not going to go away and you're the one that's suffering because you're trying to hide from them. So open the door, greet it. Do not be afraid. They're just words, they're just thoughts, and it's actually less heavy, less scary to face them than it is to carry them. And a huge shout out to my moms too, the fellow moms. I know how hard this can be. I know what you can feel like when you've done everything for your child and they're still not showing up how you would hope they would show up, everything you've poured into it. And it's so easy to think, I love my kid, but I don't really like them. I don't like to be around my kid. I don't like taking care of everybody all the time. I never signed up for this. Like all of that is
So true.
valid. Like it's okay to question why you did this in the first place. That's not you. It doesn't mean you don't love your kids. It means that you are working really hard and you are feeling the weight of it all. And you have to be able to say those things and just don't be afraid. There is no line, and just do it. Just play with yourself in that sense. Like play with how you feel and what you see and what you're scared of, because like chances are you're just the one standing in your own way from feeling better.
Yep. You said it so well, especially as a fellow mom. We
Yeah.
sometimes feel all the feelings possible, And we just need to not feel them so hard. And that's the best space. So fellow moms,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, just download the app. Just dive in. Just give it a 30 days time to try it out for free. And when you subscribe to it, it's like what, 99 cents. It's the most
Yeah.
beautiful thing that you could ever gift yourself. I can tell you that.
Oh,
And
that's very sweet. I hope it does. I did want to keep it very accessible, and
yeah,
as mentioned, that 99 cents is really just going to keeping it up and running, and
exactly.
going to any upgrades that are needed, and paying the app guys that actually know how this functions and how to actually fix it and go in the
Perfect.
inner workings. So it is a collective. It is people that have decided to put themselves first, to meet themselves where they are, to no longer be scared and be willing to step into authentic self-expression. And the people that are on there have committed to that with the 99 cents. And so it is beautiful. It's feeding each other. It's feeding a collective without actually engaging. It's like sitting beside someone in silence when you just need to hold the space.
Yeah.
And that is more powerful than words
Ooh,
99% of the time. Right. So we can
super
hold
agree.
space for each other in this app, this existing realm.
Yeah, it's a whole space and it's a whole movement. And I really see it expanding more and more. So I'm really happy to be at the beginning of it because I get to see it grow and like, so exciting. And I will add all of the links in our description box below because everyone needs to try it out. If you're a man, a woman, a child, everyone, just come, share your thoughts, share your words, offload there so that you feel freer in your mind and heart because you deserve it. Because the
Yes.
community is there to just hold space. And you will feel not only better because you speak that, but you're going to feel loved back because others are sharing the same types of energies there too. So it's so beautiful. So thank you so much for creating this and for
Oh,
joining us in this small but mighty Becoming Abundant community. I am so grateful that I got to hang out with you today and understand so much more of Air Out, which is such a mind-blowing space. And I'm so grateful that you got to put all of this together. And before I let you go, any other thoughts that you want to
I,
share?
I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for the support. And that what shows up really in the app and all the chat spaces is how lonely so many of us feel.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. Every feeling is okay here. And whether you're married or dating or, trying to build the career ladder or managing a young family or aging parents, so many of us are just walking through our days feeling unseen and lonely. And if this is a place that can help just a little bit with that, then we're doing our job. And I just very thankful that the idea came to me, that I was chosen as a shepherd to bring it here. And I have no
I love
doubt
that. You're
that
totally a
it's
shepherd. It's so
it's
perfect.
it's alive, it's an entity, and it's a beautiful thing to see grow. So thank you so much for helping grow AirOut.
My absolute pleasure. And thank you so much for your kind and wonderful and inspiring words. And I'm so grateful that I got to have you here. Yay. And my darling, darling listeners, until next week, I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Try Air out because it's there for you. And until next time, I wish you only love and remember to stay salty and bright. Bye.